Welcome back, folks, as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. I always like to take just a moment and tell you how much I appreciate you listening to the program and relying on the information within it to help shape your understanding of the market, the process, so that when it comes time for you to buy or sell a home, you're an informed consumer. You know the right questions to ask. You have high expectations because despite what many believe and despite what a lot of agents out there kind of continuously prove, there are some great agents out there. We'd love the opportunity to earn your business and have a conversation if you're thinking of making a move. I invite you to give me a call. It's my personal number. You can call or text it. It's 843-800-0065. That's 843-800-0065. Remember, if you want a copy of the questions that we use to interview people, which is what we use, frankly, when we have referrals that we send to other people. Or if you would like a copy of my marketing plan, then you can text the word you can text the word questions, or you can text the word marketing to 843-800-0065. So let's talk about, we've talked about the process of selling a home and what most agents do and really what you should expect from the run-of-the-mill standard put your home on a conveyor belt and hope that it sells approach. And if it doesn't, then what do? We just reduce the price every 30 days and hope we can get somewhere close and that hopefully everything will all work out. And obviously there are plenty of agents out there that are significantly better than that, but there are also plenty that are not, as evidenced by that statistic I shared with you, and that 1.6 million realtors are licensed in the United States, and 1.3 million of them have sold less than 4 homes so far this year. We're in the first half of this year. So let's talk about hiring a buyer agent now. Why should you hire a buyer agent? I was having a conversation with a gentleman who had called on one of our listings, and he said, I'm really not interested in talking to a buyer agent. I'd rather just work with the listing agent directly. And I said, well, why is that? If you don't mind me sharing. And he kind of gave a roundabout answer, and then he said, well, why should I hire you? I said, well, I'm not sure you should. I need to know more about what you're trying to accomplish and the gap between kind of what you're getting right now through what you're doing versus where you want to be, just to see if I can even help you. And it turns out this guy only wants to buy properties for like 50% off. And I'm sorry, but I don't know of any seller out there that would agree to sell something for half off in this market. And frankly, I didn't see much of that even when the market was in the dumps and people were picking up investment properties left and right. I mean, personally, I think that that only works if a seller's getting duped. Because any educated seller out there, even if they're in extreme distress, can sell their home for more than that. So we ended up not working together. I can't help a person that is looking for something that frankly doesn't exist. I'm not a unicorn hunter. But what worth does a buyer agent really bring to the table? A really experienced one. And there are a few different areas in which I think working with a buyer agent is extremely productive. Does everybody need a buyer agent? No. Let's just be honest. There are some people that work with a owner in the same neighborhood that they buy. They're just, they're moving from one part of the neighborhood to the other. They know each other. They get an attorney to draft everything up, make sure that everything's above board. Really don't need to involve the agents. Agents would like to get involved, don't get me wrong, but only if there's value. So the question then is, of course, what value does a buyer agent bring to the table? Well, the first one, I think the biggest one, is the ability to provide you with off-market opportunities. If they don't have that, then that's okay. There are some that do. There are even fewer that have a really big database that have really locked in the ability to find you off-market properties. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But if they don't have that tool in their tool belt, then they are just simply somebody to help you facilitate the transaction. So let's just stay on this topic for a quick second. This off-market list of properties that agents use to get buyers to work with them. We have a large team. Our team collectively makes about 15,000 dials a week, just to put things into perspective. So we're talking to people all day, every day. That's frankly one of the reasons why I'm able to provide you with such a good understanding of what's happening in the market, because we talk to so many people. We understand what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and how that relates to the actions or inactions that they're taking. And I can tell you just right now, slightly off topic, but with that additional increase in interest rates, it's knocked a lot of people back on their heels. They are really trepidatious right now. So this is why marketing is incredibly important with the agent that you hire. Homes aren't just out there selling themselves for more money than anyone else has paid for the same thing. We've got a more realistic market now, and if you want incredible results, you need somebody that can provide you with incredible results, because they're not going to happen on their own. So anyways, going back to buyer agents and these off-market properties, I mean, again, we make 15,000 dials a week. We talk to a lot of people. And it's not like we're just calling through a phone book. We're targeting specific neighborhoods, because those are the neighborhoods our buyers have told us they want to buy a home in. And even with everything that's going on in this market and how much it's shifted just in the past 90 days, we're still short. We still need a lot of inventory. And demand is obviously going down, which means that the rate at which we're putting inventory on the market will result in more inventory over time. But gosh, wouldn't it be nice if you were a buyer and you were working with an agent that said, hey, tell me what you want and I'll go out and I'll find it for you, rather than doing what most agents do, which is, hey, tell me what you're looking for: bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, price range, areas, and I'll set you up with a search in the MLS. I'll give you access to the MLS like it's some sort of secret society. And as soon as something hits the market, you'll receive an email. And once you get that email, if you like it and you want to go and take a look at it, just let me know and I'll go and I'll show it to you. And that is basically the extent of what real estate agents do to find properties. There are some that are out there that are proactively looking or networking with other real estate agents, but it's something else entirely to have a machine, a system, a process, the bandwidth, the people, the resources, the time, the budget, all that, to produce off-market properties. I mean, we are searching for needles in haystacks, and we find them. Don't get me wrong, we find them, but it's a lot of effort. So all of these different avenues that we use to produce lists of off-market properties and all the conversations we have, if we're really good at saying, hey, you know what, I just had a conversation with this seller, they would sell their home in this area for this price, how many buyers am I working with right now that might be of interest to them? Or vice versa. I just talked to a buyer, here's what they're looking for. How many sellers do I have in my database right now that match that general description? Now I need to make calls, have conversations, and play the role of matchmaker, which is what agents used to do and got away from. It's an incredibly effective strategy. It's just that because our industry has evolved, we want technology to solve all our problems, and nobody wants to work. So if we have an efficient and effective way of providing you with off-market opportunities, that usually is something that a experienced agent can do for you, and it takes time. It takes energy. It takes a lot of money to be able to do that and provide those opportunities for buyers, but that's one of the reasons why you go with a buyer agent, because they can find things that you can't. They have a system to do that. Of course, a really good one's going to provide you with an opinion of value, and I think that for the past few years, agents have gotten away from that a little bit. It's not necessarily been a question of, well, how much is this home worth? Agents have been saying, well, here's how much they're asking. How much more above what they're asking do you want to pay? A big part of being a real estate agent is understanding how much real estate is worth and then conveying that to our clients so that they don't make poor investment-based decisions. So An agent that really understands value is invaluable. Of course, negotiating is where you can make a bunch of money too. Does your agent have a really good track record of negotiating real estate deals? I mean, we've done 1,200 plus transactions on our team. We've gotten pretty good at it over time. I think another thing that a really experienced real estate agent can do for you is provide you with vendor relationships. I mean, it is a pain in the you-know-what to try and find contractors in this town or people to do any sort of work on anything on your house. It's a huge area for improvement and a big area for opportunity, I think, for companies that can answer their phone and learn how to schedule things properly. Good news for you is that we have those connections, we have those people, we have those relationships, and because we have so many of them, and because we're constantly sending them business, they provide us with a nice little discount for the volume of work that we provide them. And they're reliable, and we trust them. So you get to plug into our network rather than having to go through the process of finding people to do work to your property before or after you buy or sell it. I think the other thing here is just what perks do those agents offer? You know, for us, we have, on my real estate team, we have a lease buyout program. We have a move for free program. We have a cash upgrade program. We have a love it or list it program. Essentially, if you buy a home and within the first 12 months you decide you want to sell it, we'll sell it for free. We won't charge any commission. And so there's all these different perks associated with working with my real estate team or with real estate agents in general. Which one is the most applicable to you? If you'd like to see a list of the incentives that we provide, then just text the word PERKS, P-E-R-K-S, that's the word PERKS, to 843-800-0065. Text the word PERKS to 843-800-0065, or you can call that number, that's my direct number. And I'll provide you with a list of our incentives. So you can text the word questions for the interview questions you should ask a buyer agent or a listing agent. You can text the word marketing to get a copy of our marketing plan. And you can text the word perks to see a list of all of our incentives, 843-800-0065. Or of course, just check us out online, listingsincharleston.com. Stick around for the last few minutes of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.